Buenos dias and good morning, senor and senorita. Pleasure having you on the call. Great to see you. Beautiful day here in Cabo. And yeah, let's start with, even though we're going to talk about phobia to the light, let's start with giving each other a cosmic hug, left side to left side, your heart to my heart, your worth to my worth. Allow them to expand extraordinarily large. I'm not going to tell you to what size. Let's take my program for that one. And then feel that sense of invincibility starting to come in. Yes. Got it? So hold that space, hold that. Wonderful. Good. Now send that out to the 8 billion that need it. Yeah, send it out. Now that your heart has opened up and the fear is diminished to some degree. Yeah. Got it? Wonderful. Send that out to the 8 billion. Now come on back. There you go. Welcome back. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining. You know, and Jamie and I have been talking, we've had this conversation for a long time because we've been doing an immense amount of marketing. And, you know, like what's the fit? And what is it that, why this isn't working? Why isn't it that there's not hundreds of thousands coming with people like Manuel not having cancer and Harry not having cancer and you know, like just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people with their symptoms just dissolving. Yeah, pain. Like Tim with his, you know, he had a hernia operation, and I asked him how strong the pain was, and he said it's a 95 out of 100. Wow, okay. And he said, and the pressure is 95 out of 100. And so I just asked him some questions, and about 15 minutes in, I said, oh my God, it's down to 15%. And then when we were finished, and we went our different ways, and he was walking on his way home, he took it from 15 to 0. Now, how crazy is that? Yeah, how crazy is that? Manuel, you know, he was lying on the floor and doubled over in pain from the surgery on Tuesday. This was Thursday. Took 20 minutes to figure out what it was, and in 1 second it was all gone. Like, seriously. So why isn't millions, thousands, hundreds of thousands? Why are they paying to take these programs that are a year long? You know, I took a guy through the process. He had 5 major addictions: alcohol, drugs, food, gambling, and sex. They were gone on the first day. Played golf with him a year and a half later, still no trace. Yet people pay millions of dollars, some of them, hundreds of thousands of dollars for sure, most of them, to take these month-long, 3-month-long, 6-month-long, 1-year-long programs. Yeah, absolutely bizarre. Now, it took a long while to figure out what this was about. Why are people signing up for these programs that don't work? They do it over and over and over and over again, signing up for the same one that doesn't work and didn't work before. But they got a taste of it. They got a little bit of a taste, but it was gone in 24 to 48 hours. Not mentioning any programs, it doesn't matter. Just those programs that didn't work. And why wasn't this with the ones that do work over and over and over again? It's 100% success rate if people bring to the table the honesty, open-mindedness, willingness, yeah, and the courage. That's right. And the willingness to surrender. It's 100%. 100%. And so, like, how is that working? How is that not working? And there was something that happened, and I'm constantly evolving, constantly trying to figure out these pieces. Like, what's needed here? And I remember last spring, March, April, May, somewhere in that vicinity, I flew into Florida to see my buddy Harvey, to go to the boat show. It wasn't the Miami boat show, but it was one of them. And anyway, we were chatting. We had a long chat, spent a lot of time together, spent the whole day together, actually. And then he started asking me some questions about the process. And, you know, I mentioned about, excuse me, I was going to sneeze there, might in a second. And I thought about the phobia I talked about phobias. I said, do you know anyone with phobias? Phew, I most certainly do, my wife. I said, okay, what's the phobia? Well, he said, I don't even have to tell you, I got a video of it. Sure, Harvey, show me what the video is. So we're driving along this 4-lane highway in his Tesla, and he showed me this video of his wife, and they're boaters. Like, she's a chef and he's the captain, and they spend, you know, a whole season, like I'm talking a whole year on a boat, on yachts, and these 70 and 80 and 90 foot yachts and whatever. And this particular time they were on a boat, and they couldn't tie up right up to the pier, so there was a plank that you had to walk across. The plank you had to go across to get to the pier. And Harvey had already walked across it, and he was over on the other side, and his wife starts to come across, and she gets down on her hands and knees and starts crawling on this plank, screaming for Harvey to come get her, screaming for him to come get her as she's crawling, keeping in mind they're boaters. They live on boats. They live on the water practically. He's the captain of all these different yachts. So it's normal. Here she is crawling at just snail pace, screaming for Harvey to come get her. And finally she got to the other side. Now that's not how ridiculous. That's not the ridiculous part. As ridiculous as that is, as ridiculous as it is when you really unpack a phobia, like the guy that I took through the process in Ontario, 45, a highly successful businessman, had a phobia to balloons. Imagine now. Imagine a 45-year-old, 43 I think he was, and if you walked in the room with a blown up a balloon, he'd freak out. Now you tell me how logical that is. Go ahead, try to tell me how logical that is. Tell me how logical it is for this lady to be crawling at a snail's pace, screaming and yelling at her husband to come save her on this plank that's about 10 feet long. And it's about 3 feet wide. So lots of space. Yes. So that's the ridiculousness of it. And I'm telling you, that is what has been the problem for my process. The greater it got, the more brighter it got, the more brilliant it got, the more gigantic the results have been. And it's getting quicker and quicker. Yes. What it is their phobia to their light. The ego has them tricked. Instead of having a phobia to their darkness, they have a phobia to their light. That's what it is. And the brighter my light gets, the brighter the process gets, the more phobic they are. They will sign up for a 20-year program, 10-year program. They will sign up once a year, 3 times a year to the same program that only lasted 24 to 48 hours, and it was gone before they would sign up to this. And then, if that's not enough, they'll sign up to all these money programs, thinking that the money is going to deal with this, that the money is the actual answer to standing up and walking across that plank. Yeah, that's the absolute ridiculousness of it all. That's right. And so I talked to a couple 2 days ago here on the beach, and they were so intrigued. But she had a phobia to decision making. And we were walking away, and they said, And she was so intrigued about it all to be free of this. And she said, yeah, I'll look you up and call you back. I said, no, you won't. No, you will not. You already have a phobia of making decisions. You're not going to make something this big. Even though it's a perfect scenario, you're here till Wednesday. We could do it while you're here in person. I haven't heard from her. Of course I'm not going to hear from her. It's the ego is calling the shots. Now remember, the ego has the mentality of a 2-year-old. And it's all locked up in your subconscious. Yeah. That's why you're only consciously aware of 5 to 7 pieces of information at any given time. Yeah. The other 95 to 90, 93 to 95% is subconscious, and these ego-based, fear-based systems are running you. Only because you've given them permission. Now remember, they're phobic, so be gentle with yourself. You can't change these intellectually. You can't change these by changing your thinking. It's impossible. This is not a thinking process. It's not a thinking process. It isn't. It's a neurological process. So you can't do it intellectually. You can go and do all of your mind things, all of those mind things. Do them all you want. They won't hold. I'll guarantee you they will not hold. Guaranteed. Your affirmations, yeah, looking in the mirror and saying how beautiful you are, doesn't mean a damn thing if you've got a phobia to being not good enough or not loved or ugly. All of those, yeah. So they all have to be cleaned up. And that's what happens in this process. And unfortunately, people have a phobia not only to me in my life, but to the process and the light of the process. Now, how crazy and bizarre is that? And that is why the world is in the state it's in as we try to wake humanity up from that state. And so I've taken a few heavy hitters through my process in the last couple of weeks, and I'm pretty sure they're going to open some big, big doors and have their people take this process, just like they did. So there you have it. You have yourself a magnificent day. We have a follow-up for those that took the Instant Enlightenment on September 22nd. We have that on this Wednesday coming. I didn't look at the date, but it's this is the 3rd, so it'll be 4, 5, 6, I guess. 6th of October, yeah, at 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. And you can actually get on that one and access the video that, it was videoed, and you could have access it immediately. Yeah, and then you could be live for the follow-up holding on Wednesday. Yeah, and those of you that we are having another one on October 22nd, you can sign up right now and access that one. So that one is IamDivinityGlobalversity.com. That's how you get access to that one, and you have access immediately, absolutely immediately, as soon as you do that, yes. And and then on October 22nd, that's the live one, another live one again, and you have access to both. And those that want a more intimate, that 6 to 12 group, or the one-on-one, or the couple, the video or face-to-face, are all different financial structures to those. And there you have it. And it's your call. It's your call. And just for those that are other than the mass one, it's transformwithdonn.com, Donn with 2 N's. So there you have it. You have yourself a magnificent day. And remember, the most important thing in your world, is that you are absolutely divine. There you go. Have a magnificent day. Bye for now.